Not supposed to be here, but very much here. Greg James, welcome to the Fast and the Curious.
Oh my God. Hi Bella, how are you?
Hello, you look like you've just gotten out of bed.
Well, I'm having a couple of days away with my mum and dad, and we've been out for a very long lunch, and
It's 8:05 UK time. That is a long lunch, yes.
I've just caught up with the story. Oh my God.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fast and the Curious. My name is Christian Hewgill. This is the Formula One podcast that previews and debriefs Grand Prix and speaks to some of the biggest names in the sport. Our latest one being Ollie Bearman, who we spoke to before this Grand Prix. That was our previous episode. If you missed that, maybe when you finish this, go and check it out if you're having a relaxed Easter weekend. My name is Christian Hewgill. The only one of the regular trio on duty this weekend, Betty Glover, because she's a multi-talented queen, is presenting swimming coverage for the BBC, and why not? So she'll be poolside, getting very warm, apparently. Who knew that getting very hot by swimming pools was a part of doing that job? Betty will be back next time. Right, Greg James is on holiday with his family, like actual away for Easter weekend, and isn't supposed to be here, but I've got a feeling might be. And anyone watching on YouTube will see me texting on my phone. We'll come back to that. Greg James is not supposed to be here, but in true Greg James fashion, I think might be here. Come back to it. He texts me very excitedly at the checkered flag with, "Oh my God, Oscar," in capital letters. So he's still following the Grand Prix, even though he's away on holiday somewhere. Joining me, though, in absence of the other two, maybe not in absence of one of them, is a Formula One broadcaster, a Formula One influencer, a journalist. You'll have seen her work across social media. Bella James. Bella, welcome for a Fast and Curious debut. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. That was a very, very warm welcome. I don't know if any of those things are true, but I'll take it.
They are true. They are true. Bella, you have listened to the Fast and the Curious, which is lovely of you. Thank you. You met Greg James at like a Renault evening, didn't you? How was that for you?
Well, that was hilarious because I was like, oh, I need to go up and speak to him because it's Greg James, obviously. Then I can't do the whole like, oh, nice to meet you, I'm Bella, and you know, I know who you are. I can't do that. So I just went, Greg!
Just shouted him.
Yeah, because we made eye contact. No, he was looking at me. It wasn't weird. I wasn't like behind him or something. Yeah. He looked at me. I went, Greg! And he went, Bella, from the internet. And I was like, what? I was like, no, you're not supposed to know who I am. I'm supposed to make like an introduction. And he was like, oh yeah, like I'm supposed to message you. And I was like, just been blown away. So yeah, he was great.
Well, speak of the devil, and he shall enter this chat. Not supposed to be here, but very much here. Greg James, welcome to the Fast and the Curious.
Oh my God. Hi Bella, how are you?
Hello, you look like you've just gotten out of bed.
Well, I'm having a couple of days away with my mum and dad, and we've been out for a very long lunch, and
It's 8:05 UK time. That is a long lunch, yes.
I've just caught up with the story. Oh my God.
Well, Greg, we just started the podcast. Bella was just telling us the story of how she first met you. We haven't even talked about any Formula One racing yet. Of course, we're going to be talking about the big talking points of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. A race won by Mr. Oscar Piastri, McLaren's first ever win in Saudi Arabia, Oscar's fifth race win, the first time an Australian has led the championship since his boss, Mark Webber, in 2010. Greg James, your excited little face.
I just couldn't not. I'm supposed to be having some time off, but I couldn't not be on the Fast and the Curious to share in the joy of all the listeners who have been following Oscar since day one. And I'm sorry to interrupt programming, but this guy is winning the title this year.
You're calling it.
Wow, that's a bold statement, but you're probably right.
Do you think that, Bella? Do you think that?
Yeah. He has a solid chance, and he's probably got more of a chance than Lando. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah.
Christian, what are you? And by the way, Bella, thanks for joining us on the Fast and the Curious.
Thanks for having me.
A real treat to get you on. I'm just sad that we can't be in person so that you can arm wrestle me.
Yeah, well, I would beat you and you'd be embarrassed. So let's just, you're welcome.
That's true.
we'll get to that. Let's just, before we dive into that, recap the top 10 with Oscar Piastri winning from Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc third, Lando Norris fourth, George Russell was fifth, Antonelli sixth, Lewis Hamilton seventh, Carlos Sainz eighth, Alex Albon ninth, and Isaac Hadjar 10th. And it means, Greg, as we were just saying, the first person we ever spoke to for this podcast, regular listeners will be bored of us telling this story. The first person we spoke to ever to record an episode of The Fast and the Curious was Oscar Piastri. He leads the Formula One World Championship on 99 points. Lando Norris is on 89 with Max on 87.
So look, I haven't caught up on exactly how and why this happened, but can you two just give me a quick rundown of what's been going on, because I've been a little bit out of the loop.
Greg, Oscar and Max went sort of level into turn one. Oscar took the lead, or rather would have took the lead if Max didn't run off the track in order to keep the lead. Then, while that was happening, Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda collided, bringing out the safety car. And rather than give the place back under the safety car, Red Bull somewhat stubbornly thought, we've done nothing wrong. So therefore, we're given a 5-second penalty, which Max had to serve under his first pit stop. Therefore, Oscar took the lead in the first set of stops. Had Max had potentially given the place back straight away and tried to overtake him on the safety car restart, I suspect Max might, not definitely, but might have had the pace to win this one. He didn't. And Oscar Piastri won the Grand Prix by a few seconds, like it was super close.
Okay, do you know what? I'm going to leave you two alone, because I've interrupted proceedings. I'm sure you're going to have a great debrief. I'm actually now going to go and force my mum and dad to watch the race, because I need to catch up.
We're pleased about that.
I want to go. Yeah. I mean, we've had enough catching up now. You know, like, we're up to date. It's now time to watch the Grand Prix together, and I'm going to have another couple of glasses of lovely rosé. So.
He's on the rosé. Cheers, darling.
So to Oscar Piastri from Greg Tree. See you later. Cheers.
Cheers, Gregory. Cheers there. Greg James, though, on holiday with his mum and dad. There he goes.
Love you all. Bye.
Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Greg James there, Bella. This happens quite frequently. Greg is bad at having time off. So when he goes away for time off, gets very overexcitable and jumps on. That's quite a normal thing. But yes, as we were just discussing with Greg James, that race was won in turn one. Oscar got that great start. Max left the track and held on to the lead. But Bella, what did you think? Firstly, did you think the penalty was fair?
Yes, I did, but I think they should just do it where they swap the places back. Like, I don't want to see, because that's how it should have happened. Yeah, I don't like a penalty. I don't love penalties anyway. But if it's just a position change, just do it. Like, the FIA should be like, just give it back. Because Red Bull knew they were going to have to, and McLaren knew they, I think I agree with what Martin Brundle and Crofty were saying. And he was, he had the corner, Oscar had it. They should have just given it back. But that might have meant, you're saying that might have meant that Max would have won. Is that what you think?
To me, to break it down into a few steps, to me, Oscar started P2, right? He started behind Max. He got a good enough start to get alongside into turn one. To me, he owned that corner. He was clearly overtaking. I'll inevitably be accused here of being biased in favour of Oscar. I'm not. I've said this before. I don't care who wins the race, so long as it's a good race. I thought Piastri earned the corner. I thought the only way Max was going to stop Oscar taking the corner was by running off the track. If we were in Imola or somewhere else, that would have meant he'd gone on the gravel. He wouldn't have kept the lead. Therefore, I think it's a penalty, right? So I think it's a penalty. However, I agree with what you just said there about the FIA. To me, get on with it, lads, in the steward's room. Stop faffing about. Anyone, the world and his dog, can see that that's a penalty. So it should have just been a quick, decisive call while they're under the safety car. Guys, swap positions back. Job done. Or, and this is where another thing.
Or you're going for it. Let's have it. Yeah.
Well, or I think Red Bull could have said, Max, come on, give it back.
But I feel like Red Bull are in their own little delusional world where they just don't think they ever do anything wrong. Do you know what I mean?
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you.
Was that ever going to happen?
Probably not, but that's where I think they could have lost the Grand Prix, because I think if they have the balls, frankly, to stand up to Max and say, no, Max, we think you were in the wrong here, give the place back, they avoid a penalty. Max got a brilliant safety car restart. He could have passed Oscar on the safety car restart. Oscar didn't win the race by 5 seconds. He could well have won the Grand Prix. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think Red Bull are a bit all over the place about what's new. I mean, yeah, that was Oscar's corner, obviously, and Oscar's an amazing driver, but Max is like he's never faultless. I loved what his race engineer with Max and his race engineer, Max goes, when his race engineer said, you've got a penalty, and Max goes, and he goes, no comment, just stay quiet, let's not do that again. But you can't stop Max. There's no stopping Max Verstappen, right?
As Crofty once so famously said. I think, he's again going, look, don't do this now. Just focus on the racing. I think the FIA could have handled that better. I think they should have just swapped them back, as always. I think they should have just swapped them under the safety car. Mm-hmm. And if they are going to give a penalty, I don't think 5 seconds is lenient enough, because you could argue that I'll take the 5 second penalty, because on another day, say Oscar had suffered from tyre degradation more, Max could have just scampered away. And it's thinking, I'll take the 5 second penalty. Do you see what I mean? Yeah,
I like your comment about it being a street circuit and how if he went into the gravel, it would have been completely different. Obviously, there's no gravel. So yeah, I know that's the thing. You just can't, like, there's so many rules and the FIA, and you have to, there has to be a line somewhere. Same with the with Lando coming back onto the track. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. That was another FIA talking point where it looked like Lando might have put more than a wheel over the white line on the pit exit, but I actually thought he didn't. I thought that was, again, you said Brundle and Crofty, they looked at it on the Sky coverage from the replays and said it didn't look like the wheel was over. I think they got that one right. That was an example of good stewarding where they quite quickly look at it. Fair enough, they're investigating it. I just think, and listen, it's going to be hard for the FIA, right? As you just said there, Bella, it's a really good point. There are so many different rules. There's so much to go at. It's a hard job, but I think, Bella, if you, if Crofty, if Martin are all going, this is obvious. Mm-hmm. What are you faffing about at? I think, and again, on the internet, the only people who seem to be saying anything different were ardent Max fans. Or shock horror there. So I felt that should have either been a 10-second penalty, or the better option, I think they should have just said, guys, let's swap it under the safety car really quickly. Or option C, Red Bull.
Yeah,
Show them a bottle and go, come on, Max, just give it back.
Yeah, I think ultimately Red Bull, you need to hop on it, guys, because if you get a 5 second penalty, if you get a 10-second penalty, then you've messed yourself over there. So just give the position back, and then you have way more of a chance than you would have if you were in the position that they ended up in.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, actually, Christian, Charlotte has messaged us, and I have a question for you. Well, it's not my question, it's hers. Max frustrated me. Max frustrated me at the first corner. Yeah, we're not surprised there. He can't just accept when he's outdone by someone. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I sort of agree, because I sort of think it's all right. I can understand Max as a driver going, I've never done anything wrong. That they all need to believe in themselves. Yeah. They all do that on the radio. I just think that's where you need some stronger management from Red Bull. Because as I said earlier, I sort of agree with Charlotte. If that was one of those situations where they go, no, Max, we think you should have let Oscar have that corner there. If they just don't let the FIA get involved and they go, just swap him round, which we've seen from other teams in the past, I think Max, you're going to back Max Verstappen on a head-to-head battle for a race win. That car looked capable of winning that race. I just think stronger management from Red Bull, and they could have potentially won that race. Do you agree?
I'm just going to say, don't you think, though, that Max Verstappen is Red Bull's only hopes? They kind of want to keep him happy? Because if Max leaves at this point, what are Red Bull doing? What have they got? Nothing. Not a lot. So, no, you're right. They should still be like, Max, come on, let's just get that place back. But Max is Red Bull right now. Yeah. And he kind of has been for ages, but right now he literally is. There's no Adrian Newey, there's no car really. It's just Max.
No car. I
Yeah.
agree. No, I completely agree. And that's always been the big, counterpoint to the should Red Bull stand up to Max more? Well, he runs the show, doesn't he, really? Especially after the last couple of years. We'll talk a little bit about Lando Norris and where this weekend leaves his title battle in a moment. But as we're talking about Red Bull, Bella, it's a good opportunity to talk about you, as it's the first time we've had you on the podcast, because one of my favourites, Bella James moments, involves Red Bull. We'll get to that in a second. But Bella, what got you into F1?
It was the basic answer of Drive to Survive. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, guys.
Bella, I'm going to interrupt you. This is a safe space. Okay. No apology needed. I've watched Formula One since I was a child.
Okay. So you're trying to flex on me now, okay?
No. The very opposite. I love people who've come on because of Drive to Survive. It's done the best job of making more people love the thing I've always loved. It's brilliant. So I love hearing people go, I got into the sport through Drive to Survive. And so many of our listeners have. You're among friends, Bella. You're in a safe space.
You're right. I mean, there is the answer of my dad was a rally car driver and he loved Formula One, so I grew up with it. But like that would be false if I said that my dad got me into it. Like I grew up knowing the names Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel and blah, blah, blah. Sure. But like I didn't care because I'd come down to my dad watching F1 and he'd be like, Lewis Hamilton's winning. And I'd be like, okay, why am I going to watch if Lewis Hamilton's just winning?
Because he's always winning.
And he was a Lewis Hamilton fan. So, but nobody, even if you are a Lewis Hamilton fan, nobody wants the same person to win again and again and again and again and again. So, yeah, that's the story. Drive to Survive, Netflix. Sorry. Even though I'm not sorry.
No, don't be sorry, because nothing winds me up more than I do another podcast called F1 Explains, which explains the sport. Funny that, isn't it? That does what it says on the tin. And it really annoys me if we go, here's something that newer fans might not know, and people go, Drive to Survive fans. I was like, get a grip. It's a good thing. We're all learning. And Greg often says you can love sport in whatever way you want to love sports. And we love that Drive to Survive has got people like you involved in the sport, Bella. The sport is better for it. And now people will see you across social media. You do fantastic interviews. And Greg mentioned this earlier. You've also sort of formed a bit of a unique niche in asking to arm wrestle people. Why is that, please?
Don't know what you're talking about. Why is that? It's a very good question. What do you want? The story? The thing is, I think a lot of people sit at home and they think, oh, what's the strategy? How am I going to, become an F1 content creator or become a journalist or become whatever. I can't do that. I can't plan. I can't organise. Nothing's really thought through. So the arm wrestling was definitely not a thought through thing. Like I didn't think it was. It was like it all started with Ollie Behrman, and who conveniently just had on. Ollie Behrman's kind of like my first love in that sense because he was my first arm wrestle. You know, you never forget your first.
Never forget your first arm wrestle. No,
Exactly. He wasn't my first, but he was my first on camera. That sounds bad. Anyway. But, okay. Ollie Behrman. In my research for Ollie Behrman, which I don't do research, but yeah, so I watched one video of him. He was in Italy. And I thought, his arms are kind of small. I could probably arm wrestle him. That was it. And then I was like, let me just do that. And I did it. And then here we are. So,
and there we are. And is he therefore your? Because my next question was going to be your favourite arm wrestle.
Oh, I think. Oh, okay. Oh, David Coulthard is my favourite arm wrestler. I think. Yeah.
DC, who Max so grumpily walked away from in the post-race interview there. Good old DC. Now, in terms of your interviews, you've done lots of them. Can I tell you my favourite of your interviews? In fact, can I show you? This is my favourite Bella James interview.
Nice to meet you, I'm Bella.
Hi, nice to meet you too, Christian.
Thank you. I do know who you are. A few years ago, you said that young girls are getting into Formula One because of the great-looking drivers. But did you ever consider that it's because of the team principals? Because Toto Wolff is... Whew! You not agree?
I'm not sure. I'm not a member of the Toto Wolff fan club.
But if you had to pick a best-looking driver, who would you say?
Well, look, my daughter would love us to sign Charles Leclerc, but they've
I'll take that answer.
They've all got charm and.
For those that don't know, Christian did a radio interview. I think he was on TalkSport a few years ago, and he basically said, the reason that so many women have got into the sport, good-looking drivers, and we all know, I mean, people can just like the sports, Christian, actually. And Bella, the moment there where you bring that up as a strong, confident female broadcaster, why I love that interview is there's the little moment, and you even caption it of,
Yeah, he literally like. I feel like I've had comments and tags now being like, he even does it in other interviews. Christian has like this kind of like, what do I say now? It's like he's like, and I was there like, this is amazing. Yeah, I didn't even know that interview was going to do so well, but I literally, when I found out I was going to Autosport, I saw that Christian was going, and I just immediately thought about that quote, because I remember when I was an F1 fan and that quote came out, I remember thinking, oh
come on,
typical.
mate.
It wasn't even like, oh no, Christian. I was just like, well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's just another, just a day in the office. But yeah, so it's not, I mean, I didn't feel affected by that quote at the time, whatever, but it just came into my head as soon as I knew that Christian was going to be there. And I was like, I have to do this. And I'm so glad I did.
Good for you, Bella.
Thank
Good
you.
for you. It takes bottle to go and do that sort of thing. Trust me from personal experience. So I very much enjoyed it. Let's go back to the 2025 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Of course, Lando Norris lost this race really in qualifying with that error in Q3, hitting the wall. Bella, you said at the start that you couldn't believe you were saying it when you thought that you agreed with Greg and said that Oscar may well go on to win this championship. Does that suggest you're a bit of a Lando fan?
It does suggest that, yes. I am. And I can't even really tell you why, because I do like Oscar. But
it's hard not to, isn't it?
I am a Lando fan. I just always have been since I started watching the sport. And I remember seeing him for the first time and I started shaking. Anyway, so I think, but I think Oscar probably has more, I think it's his level-headedness as well. I think Lando's going home being like, and Oscar's just like, yeah, no, so
Mr.
he's
Cool.
just zen. He's just got it. He's not stressed.
What went through your head when you saw the quali crash?
Kind of just like that face.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like, Lando's not going to be happy about that. And then Oscar, I was thinking Oscar's going to be like, oh, that's sad, but...
You see, we went into the weekend, when me and Betty did the preview, we both agreed that it felt a really big weekend for Lando Norris. And I was really encouraged by his start because it was close, super close, but across the sort of practice sessions, it looked to me like Lando was edging it. It looked to me like Lando was going to be the quicker McLaren. And then it shows you how cruel the sport is, that it all went so wrong. And I said again in the preview show, this is not the weekend where you want to be fighting with the car, because one mistake and you're in the wall, and one mistake and Lando. Bella, how costly do you think this might be to his championship?
Quite. I mean, it's literally like Tesco says, every little helps. Because if you've lost 1 point or 5 or 10 or whatever, then those really do count. Like, save the points, and he didn't. So, I mean, it was last year, Lando could have had it. Is this year going to be like that again? But is it going to be Oscar taking it off his hands and not Max? That's really painful, to be honest. So I think,
Miami becomes a massive weekend for Lando. It's the place where he won his first Grand Prix. It's the place he's looked strong. He did prove that he is capable of bouncing back from the Bahrain weekend, because he did seem to reset really well. And he came into this weekend looking really quick. As I said, he looked good. I think Miami becomes crucial for Lando. Look, the championship is still super close. Oscar on 99, Lando on 89. All is not lost. But to me, the Miami Grand Prix becomes so important. He's got to go there and really... He's got to go and win, hasn't he? He's got to go and look the quicker McLaren, because otherwise you feel... because remember, Oscar lost points, as you said, Bella. He lost those points by going on the grass in Australia. Oscar could be a bit more comfortably in control of this championship. Lando's got a big weekend ahead of him in Miami, but a good place to go and do it with a track he's won up before.
Yeah, he definitely feels comfortable there. Do you think he can recover? Do you think he will?
Oh, I think he can. I think he definitely can. Listen, even Max Verstappen has made mistakes in qualifying sessions before. This does happen. So I'm not going to be too harsh on Lando in terms of saying things like, oh, it shows he can't fight for a championship. I think he can. I think even the best have made mistakes in qualifying. He happened to make it in a track where a mistake punishes you very, very hard in Saudi Arabia. So I think he definitely can. I think his recovery in the race was good. I think his overall pace across the weekend was good. There are still positives to take. But as you said, Bella, it's a long season. Every single point matters. He's given away crucial points. And I just think Miami becomes so crucial. I think he's got to go in because with the gap being small as it is, but all of a sudden, if that gap becomes 20 points, 25 points, 30 points, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, the only way I'm getting back in this is if Oscar has a failure, I think he's got to do really well in Miami. And I say this every episode, that I should get this on a T-shirt. I still don't think you can rule Max out. And I think Max proved that. On another day, he could win this race. And I think he's not just got Oscar to worry about.
You can never, ever rule Max out. And that's what's so painfully annoying and brilliant about him. You literally can't rule Max out. I think, as well, Lando going into Miami, it's somewhere where he feels comfortable and confident. He's won there before, but also he feels pressure because he's won there before. So, like, is that going to add to his, whereas Oscar's a cool, calm and collected cucumber? I don't know.
Cool, calm and collected cucumber. And he'll need to be. It'll be hot in Miami.
Yeah.
And I think just while we're on that, Red Bull will be pleased this weekend because, if you looked at Bahrain, where Max is coming sixth, you're thinking they are so far off the pace. But they've proven that in certain tracks, that car is capable of winning Grand Prix. It was in Japan. I've said so many times on this episode alone, Max could have won on another day. All is not lost for Red Bull. And Max's second place keeps him in the championship hunt on 87 points. So listen, we've got a title fight and it's fascinating. It's a really good Formula One season for us fans, right?
Brilliant. I mean, there's nothing in it now. And hopefully there's not going to be too much in it as we go forward because it's so close.
And we should just give Max a bit of praise while we're here, shouldn't we? Because he did drive. Yes, I've been hard on him saying maybe he should have given back the place. But again, another phenomenal qualifying effort. He's a ridiculous talent. And again, I don't think anyone else in that car is putting it in a title fight. I just think the man is superhuman.
Yeah. I mean, every single other driver is jealous of him. I mean, we can't lie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. Bella, you've been to a couple of Grand Prix, haven't you?
I have. 2021 Silverstone and 2022 Monza.
And you went very much as a fan, so presumably you bought your own tickets. And how was that experience in terms of planning? Because we went to Monza as well, so you went to a foreign race. That's another sort of added level of logistics and planning.
I mean, it's hard to plan, isn't it? I don't do any of my holiday planning myself. I get someone else to do that, just one of my friends. But yeah, no, I mean, I had general admission and everything, so it was kind of rough, but I can't complain because it was the atmosphere. But yeah, it was great. I mean, Silverstone, I'll do that again, and I'll do Monza again, but as a higher package, Not that was fine. General admission was fine, and then grandstands. I went to grandstands as well. So
would you be grateful? You mentioned at the start you're not an organizer or a planner, and that's fine. You're among friends here. Queen of this podcast, Betty Glover, very much openly admits that that's the same for her. Would you enjoy basically someone doing all the legwork for you?
Yes, please. Where can I sign up?
You can sign up with Gullivers Travel, who we spoke about on the last episode. They are genuinely brilliant because something I struggle with planning Grand Prix is it's not just you can go on the website and buy the tickets, but then once you get to a foreign airport, you then got to get yourself to your hotel, get yourself to your camping, get yourself to the track. Like you're sort of constantly having to think about stuff.
It's too much work.
But it's far too much work. You want to just focus on enjoying the weekend. Gullivers are so fantastically brilliant. I said this on the last episode, Bella. I've sent them to my dad because my dad's planning which Grand Prix he's going to this year. And I've been like, listen, get Gullivers to sort you out because they offer fully escorted F1 tour packages. So they just sort everything out. What? You can just say, yes, this is what I want, and it's all there for you. The big package they've got on offer at the moment is for this year's Monaco Grand Prix, because again, I always sort of think you've got to plan going to Grand Prix 73 years in advance, but they've got packages for this year's Monaco Grand Prix, and hotel options in Nice, Cannes or Monaco. That's a nice choice, isn't it?
Lush. I mean, all three of those are great.
Nice, Cannes or Monte Carlo, I should say.
Sorry,
I always
yeah.
get Monte Carlo and Monaco mixed up. I'd like to apologise to the good people of Monte Carlo. And as you said, Bella, they've got a range of tickets from general admission, which you did last time, to grandstand, to hospitality, which you said you're fancying a little bit of next time.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And travel options, including transfers and a private charter flight to Monaco. So you can travel amongst fellow F1 fans. Imagine the buzz on that plane. Imagine how excited
Imagine
you'd
the
be.
conversations over a glass of champagne and talking about F1.
It's the way to do it.
Going to win championship. Yeah, great. That'd be great.
The thing I love as well is they've got a dedicated tour manager throughout the trip. So you can go, what are we doing about this? They're just there to help you. And social evenings. So you can get your informal drinks, connecting with other fans. It's brilliant. I feel like I've sold it to you quite successfully, Bella. I feel like you're there. But if you've had a listen or watched this and think, yes, that's a little bit of me, check out the link in the description of this episode, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening wherever you get your podcasts for Gullivers Travel. Click on the link in the description of this episode and we will take you straight to Gullivers so they can help you plan the trip of a lifetime.
Question.
Hello.
I know you like to bring us up to speed on something that might have missed in the race or just not had the attention it deserves. So who is in your cubby hole this week?
My cubby hole this week is we've had the entire Alpine team. They've all been in. The entire Haas team have all been in. The cubby hole's been expanded to a big old hole this year, Bella. It really has. It's
something like a cave.
It's a cave. It's a sizable place. A cubby cave. Christian's cubby cave. Stunning. We're having that. Thank you. And this weekend, the entire Williams team are in it because not only did they score 17 points in the whole of last season and are now on 25, despite focusing, James Vowell's I feel like every interview he says, he goes, we're focusing on 2026. Morning, James, what would you like for breakfast? We're focusing on 2026, actually. I'm not looking at this year's breakfast. I'm looking at next year's breakfast. Despite all of that, they are on more points than they were last year. 17 last year, 25 this year. And I feel like this is the first weekend where, when was the last time we were able to say this with Williams, that Alex Albon was desperately unlucky to not make it through to Q3. But the teammate was there. Carlos Sainz was there. He's really, really struggled. Outqualified the man who he replaced at Ferrari, despite being in a Williams twice in 2 races. Scored points today with 8th. It felt like a real landmark weekend for Carlos, being like, yes, here I am. This is the sort of driver you signed. Alex has been sensational this year, but if something happens to him, I'll be there. And Carlos finishing 8th and Alex finishing 9th. There's no dig on Alex, but Williams have needed this for so long, that person who can be there when Alex isn't, and they've got that and more with Carlos, haven't they?
Always under-promise, over-deliver.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Williams are doing. Yeah. And it's been so close between Alex and Carlos, kind of like Carlos is coming back now. Alex was kind of better than Carlos at the beginning. If I was Carlos, I'd just love to stick it to Ferrari and say, sorry guys, look at you guys, look at me now.
You would, wouldn't you? You just so Carlos was on the podcast at the start of the season. I said to him, you've been so graceful in the way you've handled it, and he has. He's shown so much class, not just the smooth operator, like the classy operator as well. But you would, wouldn't you? I think I saw people on social media going, oh, why is it that people are pointing out that Carlos has outqualified Lewis? That's anti-Lewis. No, it's not anti-Lewis.
It's not.
Of course it's not. No one loves Lewis Hamilton more than me. I think the man's an icon. But if you go to a car that's not as good as a Ferrari and are out qualifying a Ferrari when you got kicked out of a Ferrari, nothing to do with Lewis as such. It's a great thing for Carlos.
At that point, you have to. I mean, come on. Also, everyone loves Carlos, surely. I don't know anyone that doesn't like Carlos. Everyone wants him to win.
He's the nicest man. And actually, I've got a few friends at Williams, and I'm sure they won't mind me saying, as a bit of behind-the-scenes goss, everybody is so loving working with him. He has settled into that team so well. Everybody says how nice he is, how much of a gentleman he is. It's so hard not to like Carlos. So I'm delighted to see him do well this weekend with an 8th place. I also just want to, while we're sort of in a little bit of an any other business point, I just want to mention Isaac Hadjar as well.
Yeah.
Because what a great point for him. He really is impressive this season. And I have to admit, when Liam Lawson went back into RB, and it's still early days, and they're not miles apart, and I'm not worried about Liam as such, but I thought it'd be closer than it has been. And Isaac seems to be quite, nicely, comfortably ahead of Liam at the moment.
Yeah, isn't it? They put up the graphics and it's Kimi out of rookies. It's Kimi first and Isaac Hadjar second out of how they're performing.
Yeah, I guess
so. They kind of all put them next to each other, and Isaac is doing really well, especially after the little shunt or drama that he had at the beginning. It's nice to see him being comfortable.
Yes,
That's nice.
He's bounced back from that really, really well.
Yeah.
And speaking of the rookies, one of my favourite rookie moments of this Grand Prix was Gabriel Bortoleto. Quite innocently, he didn't realise Fernando was there. It wasn't like it was a dirty move, but he moved under braking and nearly took out his manager in Fernando Alonso. Bella, did you hear the cool-down room?
No.
In the cool-down room, they showed the clip, and Oscar Piastri, in true Oscar fashion, went, "Oh, and it was Gabby doing that as well. He might not have a flight home anymore."
No, stop. Okay, yeah, this is why everyone loves Oscar. I mean, come on.
We've got to love him.
Yeah, I didn't even clock that when he was doing that. That's his manager. That's so funny. So Fernando was just he dealt with it quite nonchalantly.
He did, yeah. Fernando was great. Fernando was like, "Oh, that wasn't ideal." But of all the people to nearly take out of the race, your manager that's probably not ideal. But listen, Gabriel Bortoleto is, broadly speaking, had a good start to his career as well. I also want to. You said Christian's. What did you say? The cave. I feel like Christian's concern is also becoming a new feature, because I spoke about Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton last weekend. The people I'm going to go again with people I'm a little bit worried about. Okay,
are you worried about their health because they're so old? Is that what you're saying?
No, oh God. When
you pick the oldest drivers, I'm worried about them.
when you're 33 and knocking on the door of 34, don't worry, they're not that far ahead of me, depressingly. No, I'm a little bit worried about Jack Doohan, Bella, because I think we've not spoken about Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda's shunt at the start. I think it was a very innocent lap one coming together. I don't really think much of it, but it was really unfortunate for Yuki because he was in the points, which is sort of where you'd want him to be. Pierre Gasly, off the back of his 7th in Bahrain, looked all weekend really impressive again, like he could be in the points mix. But as soon as Pierre got taken out of the race, not only did it not look like Alpine was scoring, but Jack finished considerably further behind. And to me, it's the first weekend where Jack's looked so far off Pierre's pace. I was a bit worried if I'm a Jack Doohan fan that weekend. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that didn't really register because I probably wasn't looking because he was that far down. So, yeah. But I really thought it was a comeback for a tiny comeback for Gasly as well, and that didn't happen. So, because Gasly used to have so much potential back in a few years ago.
In the Red Bull days.
Yeah. And just before that, and we were like, wow, this is like Pierre Gasly's something here. And anyway, so...
Well, I still think actually that could happen. I think he's had a really good couple of weekends, and I think he probably would have been well in the points mix had he not had that. And I suppose also, I got a bit of stick last time out, Belly, for saying I didn't enjoy Lewis being grumpy, and I also said that he didn't perform well enough in qualifying. And then after the podcast went out and I actually got to see the interviews, Lewis himself said, well, qualifying wasn't good enough. So it's like, well, I'm not being that harsh on him.
No, you're not.
For the avoidance of doubt, I love Lewis Hamilton. I absolutely love. Listen, I'm a gay man. He's the only driver that's ever spoken up about LGBT rights in the world. Like, I love Lewis Hamilton. It would be so good for the sport to see Lewis acing it in the Ferrari.
Yeah.
But this is a second weekend in a row where I'm a bit worried about him because other than the sprint race win, he's not looked like he's able to really get hold of that car. And when he today he finished 7th with a fastest lap of a 1:32.6. Charles was a fastest lap of a 1:32.1 or 1:92, so about 0.4 of a second quicker. Mm-hmm. Charles putting it on the podium, Lewis not able to beat either of the two Mercedes drivers. I'm still a bit worried about Lewis in that Ferrari.
What did you think was going to happen when you came into Ferrari? Because I like Lewis Hamilton, but I didn't really expect anything other than exactly what's happening. I probably expected him to do a little bit worse than what's happening.
Really?
To be honest. Because no, I'm not saying he's past his, he's obviously he's had his peak or whatever, but
sure.
Like, and he's found this newfound life with Ferrari, and that's absolutely amazing. We all want to see that. Like, we all want to see at least one more Lewis. Come on, he needs to get his 8.
Yeah,
like, we all want
sure,
that.
yeah.
But I didn't think that he would, you know, what's the saying? Running on the ground. That one.
Hit the ground running.
Hit the ground running. I didn't think he would do that. So also you've got Charles, who's Ferrari's baby.
Sure.
He knows that team in and out, and he can speak Italian. I'm not sure if that actually helps or not. But anyway,
Probably not.
probably not.
Can't
But
ask.
yeah, I mean, Lewis still has potential. Obviously, that goes without saying. He's got the stats and everything to prove it. But I don't know.
To answer your question of what did I think would happen, I actually think Lewis had such a strong 2023, right?
Yeah.
And 2024, I thought Lewis is one of those drivers that his mindset, the happy mental place he's in makes such a difference to his on-track performance, which I'm sure is true of most of them, but I think it's true especially with Lewis. I thought we'd see a reset, Lewis in a happier place. And like we saw when Fernando was on such good form a couple of years ago at Aston, I thought we'd see a similar thing. I genuinely thought we'd see a resurgent Lewis Hamilton, and so far we haven't. So I was more optimistic than you, Bella, but you're proving to be right. And we don't want to be. Like, we want Lewis to do well, and I still do. And there's time. Hopefully,
There is time. Yeah, it's not nice to see him.
It's not
doing the the post interview saying, it's just not right. It's just not right.
It's hard. It's hard seeing him sad. I completely agree with you. So we hope Lewis improves. Right, let's get on to some listener questions, Bella. The first is for you, actually, and it's from Georgie on Instagram. Georgie says, can you ask Bella what she's done to become an F1 content creator, and if she has any advice for anyone wanting to do it?
It's a tough one. I mean, what I've done to become it is really simple and really difficult. It's just create videos again and again and again and again for years and years, and nobody might watch them, and then somebody might watch them, and then nobody might watch them, and then you just got to keep doing it until take that rejection for years. But yeah, I mean, there's no advice other than this is the advice. The advice is start whatever you want to do. Start, I don't know, blogging or doing journalist things if that's what you want to do, or if it's content creation, start doing that. You just need to start making videos. They might be crap. That's fine. You have to. Someone told me, like, if you're not looking back at your videos or whatever it is you're producing, like 6 months later and thinking that was bad, then you're not adapting. You just need to start and you need to grow. And then hopefully Lewis Hamilton can do the same.
It's great advice. It's absolutely great advice. And actually, Bella, I'm sort of newer to content creation and social media. I'm a sort of TV and radio presenter by trade, so it's new to me as well. And it's great advice. Just try stuff, because I've had to learn social media. So yeah, just try stuff.
Amy on Instagram has said this. F1 Academy question. Love this. Fantastic performance by Ella Lloyd to win the sprint race this weekend, but why can't she race under the Welsh flag? Christian, please impart your superior F1 geek knowledge on us. Come on, Christian.
I can do this. It's a great question, Amy, on Instagram, and I didn't know the answer, so I did a bit of digging. Basically, when you get your super license, the FIA recognises the UK, but it doesn't recognise England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland. So if you're from one of the countries of the UK, you're not going to race under an English flag or a Scottish flag. It's nothing to do with Wales specifically. It's more that British drivers race under a UK flag. And that's the same reason why when you see, for example, Lando Norris and George Russell and Lewis Hamilton and Ollie Behrman in Formula One, they've got the Union flag, not the flag of St George. It's a British, not English or Welsh or vice versa. So it's an FIA rules thing, but it's a great question, and well done to Ella Lloyd, who, as Amy says, had a very, very impressive weekend. She won the first race of round 2 this weekend. Maya Berg won the second in F1 Academy's second round this weekend. 4 different winners in the first 4 Grand Prix spread across the 2 rounds. So it's a fantastic championship. And to update you on that, Maya now leads that championship on 59 points. Diane Pan, who was sort of the championship favourite, she's behind on 52, just 7 behind. And while we're talking about the Junior Series, an F2 update as well, Red Bull Junior Avid Limbad became the youngest winner in Formula 2 history. after inheriting the sprint race win following Richard Verschoor's 5-second penalty. So there, ladies and gentlemen, is a name for the future, Arvid Lindblad, who I've seen a lot in the last couple of years and is exciting a lot of people. That's someone who, when the next time they're talking about a seat at AlphaTauri potentially, that's someone who's going to start being, not AlphaTauri, what's it called?
AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri, RB Minardi, whoever they
These
are.
are cash up racing bulls.
Whatever, I don't care. Yeah, that team. Lindblad is someone who will be linked with those seats if he carries on putting in performances like that.
Wow.
Bella, you've got another question from Claire
I
on
have.
Instagram.
Is Yuki under pressure at Red Bull already?
No, I don't think he is. I think still, if you look at broad pace across the sessions, across the weekends, Yuki is closer than Liam was. And therefore, I don't think Yuki is under pressure. What happened today, as I said earlier, I think it's a very innocent lap one thing. Yuki got himself into Q3, which is about where they'd want him to be. So no, I don't think Yuki's under pressure. I think maybe as we keep going, we'll need to see a little bit more from him if he's going to keep that seat into next season. But that's early days to talk about that. But no, I don't think you're seeing... There's no danger signs that they're going to do another switch. I think Yuki's still settling quite well, and I think he's closer than Liam was. So, no, I think Yuki's doing okay. Unfortunate for him and that little crash, wasn't it, Bella?
Yeah, it was. Do you think they would even replace him if he wasn't doing well? Because at this point, how many times can you change a seat? It's ridiculous.
What are we going to do? Ring David Coulthard? Like, how many more Red Bull people, see if Mark Webber will do it? Like, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
completely agree with
I've
you.
seen David think, I'm sure David thinks he probably could do a good job. Not now that his collarbone, he hurt his collarbone, or broke it rather.
He did. DC, yeah. DC would do a job. A solid driver. Now, we normally do Betty's Radio Radar. Why not rename it Bella's Radio Radar? Not least because of the letter B. We spoke about this during the race, didn't we, Bella? That hello to Luke Smith, who is a brilliant Formula One journalist and a delightful man. Luke heard we both missed this. I don't know if this was on the TV coverage and we just both missed it, Bella, or it was on one of the team radio channels that Luke just happened to be listening to.
Okay.
But Will Joseph, Lando's Norris race engineer to Lando Norris. Lando, tyre info. Your fellow hard-ons are Stroll, Hadjar and Hülkenberg. Everyone else starts on medium. Your fellow hard-ons for people starting on hard tyres, I'd like that to become a thing. I very much enjoy that.
There's actually no way he said that. There's no way. We need evidence now. Like, I need to hear that. I need to hear that now.
Knowing Will Joseph, I think he definitely said that.
Okay.
I'm fully convinced he said. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. Enjoyed that.
He's trying to get that viral moment.
Did you also see, one thing I really enjoyed was Max saying, we discussed this in the briefing when he was talking about the fact he'd been given a strike. I just love that they could be in the middle of a Formula One race. It's almost like he'd got a notepad. Actually, we discussed this in the briefing. I made a note of it, that this would not signal a penalty. It was in the briefing, guys.
I have it printed out. If he's not careful, he'll turn into George Russell. Get the point.
Very George Russell. It's very
George Russell.
Bella, tell us what else you enjoyed on the radio.
Oh, God. I enjoyed the sass from Alex.
More sassy Alex.
More sassy Alex, please. Oh, my God. This is like when Charles got more like sassy, and I was like, come on, finally. Come on. This is what I want to see from, Alex is great.
Sassy Alex has stepped up a level this year. There was yet more Sassy Alex on lap 9 when he was warned about his tyres overheating. Do you not know I've got a car behind me? We're not thinking about that. Do you not know he's there? Leave me alone.
But the way he said it was, do you not know I've got a car behind me? Or we're not thinking about that. Like, good. Come on, guys. The way he said it, he was like, should I even really be saying this? Or, yeah, I'm just going to commit.
Loving Sassy Alex on the radio.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Charles.
I did.
Charles being... I'm loving, not sassy, but almost like wryly sarcastic Charles on the radio this year, which we had more of.
Yeah, I like to see personality in the team radios, please. Just like with the water. Thank you, Brian. So yeah. Him thanking Brian for saying well done it was an overtake, wasn't it?
Yes, well done, Charles. Thank you, Brian.
It's so cordial. Like I would never be passing someone and someone thanked me, I'm like, thank you. I'd be like, yeah, get in there. Like, he's like, thank you, Brian.
I really loved it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brian. I really loved
Thank you.
it. I really loved it. And also, right, I mean, this is just ludicrous that they're driving at 200 miles per hour. They can barely see anything out of these cars. And on lap 39, Oscar Piastri is reporting a flashing light on someone's balcony.
I'm sorry, but when I watched that, I was thinking, I would be me. I'd be thinking, shit, what is that? My balcony? Like, I was like, he's just spoken about me, and my balcony is flashing something red or something. I don't know. I want to know what that was. We need feedback. We need to report from someone.
I want to know if the FIA sent like a stern person, a stern man or a woman dressed like a head teacher with a clipboard out to me. Can you turn your balcony light off? It's distracting them, please. Thank you. That's one step away from like noticing the light on someone's oven being quite like that is just ridiculous levels of noticing stuff from Oscar.
That's like when you're asleep though, and there's one like something's charging in your room, and you're like, I can't go to sleep because there's that little green light that's. You know, it's annoying.
Or hotel tellies, or not just hotel tellies, but people who. This is a side rant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Greg and Betty aren't here. What are they going to do? And who's designing televisions with lights that stay on when you turn the telly off?
Psychopaths.
A lot of good Radio Radar this week. Betty will have been sad to miss it. I'm sure she'll be watching from the side of a swimming pool somewhere, watching someone do the 200-metre backstroke. Bella, it has been a joy having you on The Fast and the Curious. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for coming on. I can only apologise for my lack of co-presenters, but yeah, at least one of them popped in.
Oh, yeah, no, that was good.
Bella, thank you. For those that don't know, please tell and remind everyone where we can find you on internet platforms.
That is a good question. It's Bella James, but unless it's YouTube, the first E is an X, because Bella James is taken by someone who has 2 followers, and I have messaged her. So, yes, it's Bella James with an X as the first E. But I hope if you type in Bella James, it should still come up.
I've just loaded up Instagram and it's jumped on a thing. Sorry, while you're doing that, some breaking news from the world of... Instagram have changed where the message thing is, and it's ready.
No, they haven't, have they? I haven't updated that. No.
Only done it on the Fast and the Curious account, not mine. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
But, hello to the Instagram account Fast and Curious F1 2025, which proclaims to be the new home of F1 content on social media. There's already a Fast and Curious. Thank you. That's our name. Thank you.
Have to clip that.
Them, go away. So
no.
Thank you. Who messaged this? Thank you to Lisa, who made us aware of this.
Big up, Lisa.
Big up, Lisa. You're not the only one frustrated with the social media thing. Anyway, the thing is with nobody else being here, nobody telling me to shut up, so I need to. I'm
the same. I'm a yapper.
I'm a yapper. I'm yapping now. But it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed yapping with you very much, Bella. Thank you for coming on. We'll have you back in the future if you'd like to. We'd love to have you back.
No.
And, fair enough.
No.
And we are not on next week because there's no Grand Prix next week. We will be back to preview the Miami Grand Prix week after next. If you've got any questions about the Grand Prix, about Miami, about anything you've seen in this one, anything you're not sure of in Formula One, or just want to tell us your thoughts, feelings and emotions, we are Fast Curious Pod on all the socials. Bella James, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll speak to you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Bye for now.